Hello, we are here live at Natural Plus Nursery, and I am Mary.
Hello, I'm Mike.
And we're here to talk about grasses today. So we're actually just going to highlight some of the grasses that we have here, some of the hardy grasses that we recommend if you're looking to add a little grass into your landscape. I'll let you take it away, Mike.
We carry 5 or 6, 7, 8 different varieties of grasses, ranging in heights from the 1 or 2 foot up to 8 or 10 foot for some of them. A lot of them have a really interesting seed head that shows up in the fall. Some of my favorites, or a couple of my favorites, would be the Karl Foerster reedgrass, which is this one right here. This one gets about 4 foot tall, not invasive at all, stays in its own little clump forming, and is real nice because it adds a lot of winter interest. The stems stay erect throughout the winter, whether it's snowy or icy, and just give a lot of movement and motion in your garden.
Yeah, they're very interesting when the wind blows.
Yeah. Another one that's kind of neat is the flame grass. That one gets a little bit taller, but the stems turn a nice red and orange come fall time. So that's a really nice one.
Yeah, we always like to think about fall color too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Different seed heads on them. This is the reed grass that's got more of an upright seed head. Some of the switch grasses are more open and airy. There are some they're called turkey foot grasses. The switch or the Indian grasses, those are
They're native, right?
A native plant as well. They come in both. That's a blue stem, large and small blue stem. So
What does it mean to be native?
I think native means that it was here before we were here.
Here,
You know,
yeah.
Grew up
Yep.
in this soil.
Cool. So it's always good to think about planting things that are used to being here because they'll
And
last longer.
because they are native, you're right. They're used to the climate. They're used to the soil.
Right.
And they just do better than sometimes things that are introduced that
Yeah.
aren't originally from this soil.
Yeah, so let's quickly talk about how to care for your grasses. So if you do decide to plant some grasses in your landscape or your yard, what do you do? How do you care for them?
Plants that are grown in pots can be planted all through the growing season. I would say, if you plant them a little bit earlier in the spring, then they have a chance to establish a root system. Water them thoroughly when you're planting them, and then a couple of times a week throughout the growing season, the first growing season. Once they're established, they're pretty much on their own unless we get prolonged periods of dry weather.
Yep.
In the fall, you just leave them, let the leaves from the trees just gather around the base of them to kind of help insulate the roots, and then trimming them back in the springtime, usually around the 10th of May or so. That way the plants seem to do better, especially this Karl Foerster does not like to be trimmed back in the fall. So I would leave all of them in the fall, give you some winter interest.
Yeah, and I wouldn't have guessed to wait that long into the spring, but that's good information.
Sure.
All right, well thanks for tuning in, and I hope you enjoyed some information on grasses.